go with the first one. The first turnabout. Yes. Achievement unlocked. Gasp, gasp. Damn it, why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Oh. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. Okay, well, I think we've solved the first murder. August 3rd, 9:47 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before the case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's death, despair. Oh. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to die. It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Sigh. Nick. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you! My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself into trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault, he just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. August 3rd, 10 AM, District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp, hands shaking, eyesight fading, knees weak, arms are sweaty. The test consists of a simple question. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this client. Larry. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew. I knew this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. No. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix. Are you sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name. Oh, the victim. Of course. I know the victim's name. I just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check it at any time. The attorney badge. No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. Sure. Cindy's autopsy report. Time of death, 7:31. Oh, no, July 31st. 4 to 5 p.m. Cause of deaths, loss of blood trauma. Blood due to head trauma, blunt face. What? Yep. So we've got Mia Fey, chief attorney at Fey & Co., my boss, and very good defense attorney. Larry Butts, the defendant in this case, a likable guy who has been to my friend since grade school. Cindy Stone, the victim in the case, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. Winston Payne, the prosecutor for the case, lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across. Wonderful! Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in the case? It is... Cinderblock. The victim's name is Cinderblock. Correct. Now tell me, what's the cause of death? She died because she was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. You are now a defense attorney. Well done. You may proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what happened? What that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. It's found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue. The statue of in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. The statue was added to the court record. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check. I thought in courts you have to submit evidence before the trial, and then you get to. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Use tab to check the court record. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls defendant Mr. Butts to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim you had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What's it to you, anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you, and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them, the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering? My client has no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to the case. Oof, wince. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That's cheating, she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and oh, it's gone. Okay, well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with this trial, shall we? I believe the accused motives is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Gulp. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Let's have him answer honestly. I know. I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. Second witness. Witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Feng Shao to the stand. Mr. Sarwit. You sell newspaper subscriptions in this court. Fuck off. Mr. Sarwit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes. Newspapers, yes. Mr. Sarwit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Witness's account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing the apartment. I thought he must have been in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. When I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in my apartment was not working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 PM. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there. Hold on. Between 4 and 5 PM. Not 1 PM. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Swish used was one of those. Your Honor, I have the record of the blackout for your perusal. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, right. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then the witness must have lied in his testimony. Or your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness testimony to evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, contradiction between the court records and the witness testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with tab and point out the contradiction in the testimony. Going door to door, selling subscriptions. I thought it must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment, and I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. Hold on. So you didn't touch anything in the apartment? Yes, I mean, no, nothing. Okay, what happened next? I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. The phone in her apartment wasn't working? Yes, I mean, no, it wasn't, right? But you said you didn't go in the apartment. Or did you? Oh, that? I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on a shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. What happened next? I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. The time exactly was 1 p.m. 1 p.m.? Are you certain? Yes, absolutely. He seems really confident. 1 p.m.? Right. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence that contradicts him. The death was at 4 to 5 p.m. You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes at the time of death sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain the 3-hour gap? Oh, that. This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sarwit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? The time of the discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video, or of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped TV program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. Couldn't, because there was a blackout. Fuck you. Probably coming from the television. You know what? There was a blackout. Prosecution said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah. Well, irk. The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Ah. Wait, I remember now, Mr. Sawit. The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, as you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It, must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony one more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. It must have been what I saw. What? You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. What? But the clock wouldn't have said the wrong time. What? A table clock? There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Table clock? Was there a clock at the scene? This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That was a statue, sir. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how was this supposed to be a clock? Yeah. Your objections, your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it, and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submit it's a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Yes. There is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock was to hold it in his hands. Yet the witness testified he never entered the apartment. Clearly, a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You went inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. It was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have been left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. The voice was burned into your mind. That's why you're so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless. Just look at the witness's face. Look, grr. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard... No, I mean, I saw. Wah. Shut up, I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Give him death. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claim. Mr. Wright, Your Honor. You claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mrs. Whip heard was definitely this clock. The fact which is clear if you simply... Ooh. Try sounding the clock? I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce his time. Well, he is a thinker after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. 3 hours off. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sewit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sewit, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! Ha ha ha! You forgot one thing. Otto, what's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it is running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, that was very close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indicate the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sewit. I come all this way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all a slime. Grr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sewit. Mia, I mean, Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow in the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Because it was a present from Paris. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. Must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you said the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves the clock was running slow. Possible? The victim has just returned from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 PM here, it's 1 AM the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast! The victim hadn't reset the clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sewit? Or should I say, Mr. Didit? Oh, he said. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Hurrah. And with that, this court is adjourned. Turns out that Frank Schwitz was a common burglar. Ooh. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house that day. When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Seward let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching at the place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Seward grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Whew. I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Ah, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Bad, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was it. Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see it in the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you this one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. But hey. Here, take this as a present. A present for me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Sob. Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Ah. She kept the clock. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about the clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. We did it. Oh, right. I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to the innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry. You were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime, maybe over drinks. And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave me." I didn't know it then. But that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise I would never be able to keep. The end. Cool.